Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, Football Talk. And I'm super excited because today we got the Madden 26 official reveal trailer. Let's go, baby. Woo! I'm super excited for this one. Man, oh man, this just came out today. Also, this would be a 2-in-1 because Eric Rayweather has provided some more information, so I will be reacting to that. Also, I'll basically be combining two reactions in this one. Woo! If you guys are ready, let's get into it, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, what? Power the realest Madden ever? Oh, this a throwing different throwing animations. Oh my goodness, this is so good. Ooh, good cut. Oh, with the one hand. Oh, they got the handstand in the game. Make a lie. Ooh, look at the rain fences.
And you see it there, whiteout conditions remain in effect as we are.
They got the yo, look how good the snow looks. No. What? Ooh, ankles! Oh my god! Get down, boy! We got it! Where the Patriots at? Really? No love to the Patriots? I mean, Bills is cool. Some real schemes, real rather. Oh, why you have put my Patriots on that one? Got Travis Hunter. Oh my God. Built from Sundays. Man, that looks absolutely amazing. Oh my goodness. I really felt like I was watching the actual game. Like that is crazy. Okay, now let's switch to Eric Rayweather Madden 26 trailer full featured reveal. Okay, let's see what he got for us.
Just dropped a trailer and a bunch of info. Now this video is sponsored by EA because they did get some of this info out early so that I could get the video ready quickly for you guys. I can't just post the full trailer because there's copyright music and stuff, but we're gonna get into the blog in a minute. But
I might have to take that out too.
Some of the stuff they touched on. They did a good bit for the game this year, and you're gonna find out a lot more when the actual deep dives come out. But notice they focused a lot on the pregame intros. You see mascots, you see real world intros.
So
each team kind of has their real life intro.
It definitely got that college feel.
They kind of heavily focused on weather effects because they finally
stuff.
upgraded the weather tremendously, and it affects the gameplay and it looks a lot better. They also kind of focus on signature QB throws, kind of showing their real life throws and then showing that you can do that now in the game. So they touched on a lot of good things in the trailer. I think for a reveal trailer, they definitely hit on some of the big changes that they did make this year. But we're gonna jump into this blog.
I feel like with this reveal trailer, it revealed a lot more than it has in years past.
Franchise presentation. There's a lot of stuff they did this year. Those deep dives will be dropping soon. Make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on so you don't miss those videos when they drop.
Your boy gonna be reacting to those.
There's gonna be a beta soon. I don't know if I'm gonna have codes to give away. Usually I do. So if you want a chance, follow me on my socials. That's where I will give them away if I get them. We should be getting that pretty soon. So let's get into the reveal blog for Madden 26. Keep in mind that this first reveal blog kind of just briefly touches on some of the bigger aspects of the game.
It's like
but
bullet
my favorite
points,
part are
basically.
the deep dives that come a little bit later because they go more in depth on those big things, but also they touch on all the little details and the smaller things they're adding to the game, which to me, you know, all those small things really add.
One thing I do want to note, I know there are going to be people out there that's going to be like, well, where's the actual gameplay? He ain't doing it to us again. It's supposed to be a hype trailer. Like, how many people have to watch these first trailers and still not understand that this is for hype? the gameplay and stuff is going to be in their own section. It's been like that for years. And people still, every single year, seem to not understand that. It's a hype trailer. Hype.
Add up to make a big difference. So we're not going to find out every single
like
thing
you
about
gotta talk
26
to a
today, but we're going to
two-year-old
find out
sometimes.
some good information to get us started. So let's start with gameplay. It says, when we talk about gameplay for Madden 26, we're talking about real-world NFL data, seeing the tendencies and traits of the league's superstars, experiencing real football weather on the virtual gridiron, strategizing around the real X's and O's of football, and real community feedback coming through each snap, truly making every game you play feel different. We can't share everything today, but we're going to roll through some of our favorite gameplay features right now. Our Madden NFL 26 gameplay deep dive is on the horizon, and we can't wait to show you what we've been cooking. So again, they're going to touch on a little bit right here, but it's going to get much deeper when they do the deep dive.
Looks like
So
Patrick
starting
Mahomes
with
and Josh
QB
Allen
DNA, it
throwing.
says the quarterback is the most iconic position in all of sports. To reflect that, Madden 26 has completely reimagined quarterback mechanics from animation to behaviors with our QB DNA. Not only are we watching Josh Allen's rocket arm fire off a deep pass mid-jump, you're doing that when you're playing as Josh Allen too. More than 500 new quarterback animations were added for Madden 26.
Over
QB signatures in
500?
Madden 26 are a visual replication of everything from how a quarterback holds the football in the pocket to their arm slot when slinging it down the field. We have overhauled our player trait system with 50 new player traits across numerous positions, all backed by real-world NFL tendency data. Does your quarterback in real life throw more often on the right side of the field? Joe Burrow, for example, will be more likely to set his feet before throwing than other quarterbacks. Josh Allen, as fearless as he is in real life, will be trucking defenders as he takes a chance to scramble.
And that
for the
is
first
real
down.
because he
Whether
does
it's
that in
Lamar
real
Jackson
life.
getting shifty to
ladies and
avoid
gentlemen.
his hits, or Matt Stafford dropping his arm down
Josh
to
Allen
finesse a
is an
screen
absolute
pass,
unit.
pocket presence, scrambling tendencies, and passing styles reflect the unique traits of today's stars and tomorrow's legends.
Nah, that
Now, this is
Caleb
something I
Williams
can't
pass
wait
is
for you guys to
crazy.
find out more about, because this is kind of the first time that I feel like they really made the quarterbacks look different on field from the little bit that I played. An example I had is when I played against Kyler Murray. When things broke down, he kind of started scrambling, and you know how Kyler Murray has that like little toddler run where, you know, he kind of just little bitty steps, but he moves really fast and it's kind of chaotic, but he still keeps his eyes downfield and tries to
Little legs
get that
be
last
gone,
minute pass
boy.
off. He was doing that in game, and when they talk about those 50 new player traits, they have traits for these players that kind of mimic what they do in real life. So guys like a Josh Allen or a Kyler Murray, who they will move around a little bit in that pocket, or Lamar Jackson as well, you know, they'll try to buy time, but they always kind of keep their eyes downfield, and they're still always looking to get that pass off at the last minute and not always scramble. Like, you'll see them do things like that. So there's a bunch of different traits for these guys. They all have signature releases and throws. Matt Stafford can hit a sidearm and all those little things, adjusting on the fly in the pocket. Pretty cool stuff, and I can't wait for them to show more of that. Moving on to Coach DNA, it says, introducing Coach DNA, a groundbreaking feature that brings the personalities and tendencies of the NFL head coaches to Madden 26. Powered by machine learning stemming from years of real-world data, Coach DNA mirrors the unique styles and philosophies of NFL coaches. 4th and 3, you better be ready for Dan Campbell and the Lions to try getting a first down.
Definitely.
Passing successfully on the Vikings, expect more creative blitzes from their unpredictable defense.
Nah,
This
I
data-driven play
like
calling
this
brings
right
real-life
here.
head coach tendencies to the virtual gridiron. Our second piece of Coach DNA is an
'Cause
overhaul
how many of
coach
us actually
suggestions
go
that
for
also
on
contains
fourth
what we call
down?
coach speak.
Like,
If you're
almost
playing as
every
the
time.
Lions, Dan Campbell will offer various suggestions
I say about
depending on down and
90%.
distance, true to the Detroit Lions tendencies, and mirror the way Campbell talks. On top of that, we have real-time coaching AI, where the CPU teams will make pre-snap adjustments and suggest play calls that specifically counter your opponent's tactics. We received a ton of feedback on our playbooks from the previous
that's
year,
gonna
and
be
we're happy to
OD
announce that we
going
have nearly
against
1,000
the
new
CPU.
plays at launch of Madden 26. Our playbooks contain the current trend of motion and shift-based offenses you see from teams like San Francisco and Miami. For our defensive playbooks, you'll find exotic blitz packages, defensive disguises, and the all-new stunts and twists to lock down your opponents. Now, this is all pretty cool here. I think you're going to find out more about this when they talk about franchise, because this is definitely a bigger thing for franchise, in my opinion, especially if you're a person that uses coach suggestions. The coaches will actually give you feedback and kind of give you reasoning for why they're suggesting what they're suggesting to do, and it's in line with how those coaches
Ooh,
would
I
typically
really like
coach in
that,
real
'cause
life.
I'm a
But
dude
also,
that
the whole
actually
game planning thing,
uses
again,
the
when we get to
coach
franchise, it's gonna be
suggestions in the
pretty cool.
playbook.
These coaches will really game plan around what you do, like what your tendencies are, what kind of plays you run, the weather, injuries, things like that. I can't speak too much on that
So
yet.
they take all that
I think this is
into
going to be
account.
huge for
Nah,
franchise
that's gonna
if
be
implemented
OD.
correctly. And I can't wait
Especially
for you guys
if
to
you're
learn
going
more
against
about
the
that.
CPU,
Moving
like
on,
in the
wear and
franchise
tear and
mode,
new
like he
depth
was
chart
talking about.
positions. Two big things right here for a lot of people. Two things a lot of people have wanted. It says modernized roster management adds strategic depth chart with the wear and tear system and dynamic substitutions. Wear and tear affects player performance, while dynamic substitutions allow seamless situational swaps without pausing gameplay. Highly requested new depth chart positions modernize Madden NFL 26 featuring edge, nose tackle, long snapper, and the versatile gadget position. This upcoming NFL season could see a dynamic, consistent two-way player in Travis Hunter, and Madden 26 is ready. Hunter will have abilities that counteract some of the wear and tear of playing both ways, meaning you can't just throw any receiver at cornerback and expect the same result. So yes, we finally have updated
I love that right
terminology
there.
in the game with edge,
I
nose
absolutely
tackle,
love
all
that,
stuff.
so people
I
would
actually have
not
a long snapper
abuse
position that does have long snapper
that,
rating, so you
'cause
can't throw
I can already
anybody
see it right
at
now.
long snapper. That's pretty cool. Long overdue. And wear and tear is now in the game, which I mean, it was good in college. People are gonna want to see it over in Madden now. Going to be huge again for like franchise.
Oh, I
and
didn't know
superstar
Madden
mode.
didn't have
More
wear and
strategy
tear.
there. And they
don't
mentioned
know
those
why I thought
dynamic
Madden
substitutions, which I think
introduced
is a
the
really
wear and
cool
tear.
feature where now when you're on the field, you can literally hit the D-pad and you can bring up your roster and you can literally sub people from that menu. So then when you call the next play, it'll
What?
substitute out those players and you don't have to do it at the play call screen or pause the game. So that's a pretty cool new
Oh,
feature. That
okay.
just kind of makes substitution.
Okay,
a
EA,
little
I
bit
see what you're
easier on the
doing.
fly.
I see what you're doing.
Moving on to football weather, it says NFL teams face the dual challenge of battling each
Yeah,
other
the
on the
weather
field
looks
while
so
contending with various
good.
harsh weather conditions through the season, and we have brought that to life with football weather in Madden 26. We have completely overhauled not just the visuals, but also the effects of weather conditions. Heavy snow, fog, rain, and everything in between will affect movement, visibility, stamina, and ball control. If you're playing in a Madden NFL Snow Bowl, you'll notice players slipping or moving as clunky as they would in a real-life blizzard. There's new physics from how players
Oh,
move to how the
man.
ball
I
carriers
can
will be
already tell
adjusted
it's
to
gonna be a
mimic
lot
these
of
weather
raging
conditions, and it says think
going
again
on,
about that chip
especially in the
shot
snow
field goal
games.
in heavy weather. We've also added finer details, making the elements a part of home field where cold weather teams will not get as impacted when playing in the cold and wet as warm weather teams, but to balance this, when playing in extreme heat, those cold weather teams will tire out faster, which is a little detail with a big impact that came
Dang,
straight
that
from
is
NFL players.
crazy.
So yeah, I mean, the
Nah, this, I got it. This is a thumbnail right here. Got to.
weather looks great this year. We finally have that heavy snow, heavy
My
rain. We even have fog mixed in.
goodness,
And like if you're playing in heavy snow, I did
Look
play a
at the
game like this down at
background.
EA.
They
You
still
know, you can't even really
blocking
see
and
the back
stuff.
judge completely. Like that's how foggy and snowy it is. And you know, the players will kind of stumble around, put their hand in the ground to keep their balance. But I was told, like for franchise or those modes like that, there are sliders for this, so you can adjust how much the weather does affect the game. You can turn that off completely
okay, that's
and just
good.
have the
That's
weather
good
be
to know.
visual, which I think is cool because it's your game. You know, play it how you want. If you want just the visual of the weather, you can have that. But if you want the effects too, you can also have that. It's in your control. Moving on to foundational football, it says football fundamentals are not optional, they're essential. So we're doubling down on core football principles that give players more depth and control. Explosive locomotion, run and pass blocking, defensive zone coverage, physics, and new mechanics are at the forefront of improvements as we heard your feedback. When we say explosive NFL gameplay, here's what it means to us. Simply that the left stick feeling has never felt better in Madden. It's not just fast players are fast, the end. Our explosive locomotion differentiates the north to south speed of athletes like Tyreek Hill versus the wiggly east to west players like Jahmyr Gibbs. With explosive locomotion, a player who runs a 4.2 40-yard dash will feel like a player who runs a 4.2 40. We want our players to feel the difference between fast and explosive in Madden 26. Custom defensive zones and adaptive coverage let you game plan and adjust like a real NFL coordinator. With custom defensive zones, you'll be able to set the depth of your zone defenders at the line of scrimmage to take away that pesky corner route from your opponent. Do you want your safeties to align to a certain hash, the passing strength, or elsewhere? AI logic, custom zones, and more deliver an overhaul to defensive coverage in Madden 26. And again, they say
I'm
the
not
gameplay
really
deep
a
dive
big
is coming
defensive
soon,
guy,
but I want
but
to
I
touch
know
on
a
some
lot
of this.
of
So
people
they
are
did
gonna
speed up the
actually
game
like this
finally. It's not
change.
college football fast. Don't expect that. It's not going to be a one-to-one to college,
Which
but
it
it's
shouldn't
much
be. I
faster
mean,
than
that-
Madden has been over the
it's
last few
not.
years. It's kind of a good balance between the two, I think, keeping it a little more realistic, but not as too far to the arcadey side as college is. Even though I prefer college movement better, I think it's fun. I think they found a pretty good balance here, so you do feel some explosiveness. You do feel more control. You don't feel as
I
stuck
mean,
in
but
the
like
mud
I said,
as
if
the
you guys
previous, like,
play on
4 Maddens have
arcade
been. So I think
mode
they
and
found
you
a good
want that
balance.
college
And
feel,
you do
just
notice the
do that.
separation more with the fast players. Like you can really pull away, or like even if a guy has a good angle on you, but you're just a blazing fast
crazy
guy like
amounts of fun. I'm
Tyreek, you
telling
see
you
those
guys, if
plays like down the sideline
haven't
in real
checked
life
it out,
where
you're missing
it looks
out.
like a guy's got a good angle and he gets, I mean, half a yard to the guy and he just can't fully reach out and just stop them, because a guy like Tyreek can just really hit that last gear and pull away. You kind of see more of that in this game, which I think is really cool. And custom defensive zones.
You don't want
Tyreek
Tyreek to catch the ball because
zone drops, but you
he
can
good
do them
enough to
individually
take to the
on the
crib.
fly. So think of how route stemming was last year, like on the field, when you can stem a route 30 yards down the field if you want, or you could stem it 15 yards down the field.
Oh,
You
that
can
was
do
a
the
big
same thing with
feature. I remember
individual
they
zones
showed
to
that
kind
in
of
the college,
counteract those route stems,
deep
which I think is
dive.
pretty cool. Now let's move on to franchise mode. Again, they're kind of just going to give us a little
we
taste
got
here. I promise you they did a ton for
franchise
franchise this
mode.
year. I'm not lying to you guys. When the deep dive comes out, you'll see the detail, that and presentation kind of hand in hand. But they're touching on some things here, so let's talk about it. It says, first things first, in the NFL, no two coaches are alike. Now in Madden, that's also true. We've added hundreds of new heads and brand new gear for when you're creating your coach and style. Also, think about what this might mean for college football. They're not going to just do it in one game, so just think about that. We're also introducing a new meta game with coach abilities in Madden 26. You can now check out the scouting report and customize your game plan against your opponent each week. Coach abilities are also more than just a menu item. They can trigger via in-game scenarios. For example, one ability could increase your offensive tackle success against power moves. Leveling up your coach gets you access to more abilities, and leveling up is now accomplished in a multitude of ways, from on-field success to scouting and drafting. And of course, CPU teams will be able to take advantage of these game plans as well. So just to interject right there, it seems like they kind of made the coachability system similar to how it is in college. So no more of that kind of coach
that's
tree.
how it
I
is
mean,
in
the
college?
coach tree
Oh,
affected some things, but it didn't feel like it did much. This is more of a full ability system.
you
that
guys
can
like
constantly
it
tier
in
and upgrade
college,
and kind of build your
or
coach the way you want?
do
That's
you
what it
like
looked like
how
to me. You can
last
set a
year's
couple of
Madden
abilities
did it?
each game to game plan around the team you're playing, like based on the weather, their injuries, how they're actually playing. They really overhauled game planning. They're not talking about it a whole lot here, but what they showed in the presentation, it's a lot more in depth than what we've seen before. And they even mentioned if you don't use certain abilities for so long, you can actually lose them too. So you have to be sure
You
that
can
you're actually
actually-
actively using these
oh
abilities, 'cause
my
if you're not,
goodness,
then
I love that
clearly
change
those
right
abilities aren't
there.
aligning with who your coach is, so you could lose them. And they're going to go more in depth with this with
that's gonna be
franchise,
a
but
cool
I kind of want to
change.
just add some of my own tidbits in there, because I think this has the potential to be a really cool system for Madden going forward. Moving on, it says playbooks become a larger focus of your franchise this year with play sheets. Play sheets are another component of your weekly game planning, allowing you to add extra plays to your playbook or upgrade existing plays for the upcoming game. The play sheet you'll be able to access depends on how you level up your coach. So again, this is something we'll find out more about when they do the franchise deep dive. They're really just giving us the bare minimum info on this here, but I promise there's a lot more to all of this. Moving on, it says managing player wear and tear is now a part of franchise strategy. Remember when we mentioned Travis Hunter in the gameplay section? Upgraded trainer rules mean trainer abilities are used to manage wear and tear. So you can get those abilities to help manage your players. If you have a better medical staff, for example, or whatever you call it, that can help your players in their wear and tear. Also, you've got to really monitor this when you're talking about practicing, how you're doing full pads versus half pads. Also, if you want to play a guy into the ground, he's going to experience that later in the season. And again, coaches will game plan around your wear and tear. So if they see that your running back late in the season is just completely running to the ground, right, they're going to adjust how they play, because they know this guy just ain't got a lot of gas in him right now, so maybe we'll focus on some other things.
That's gonna be
maybe
tough.
your left tackle has really bad wear and tear, and they're like, we're
Because I
gonna
do
send some heavy blitzes
spam
at his side. We're
very
probably gonna
similar
get home.
plays.
So
I ain't
I
gonna
really
lie
want
to
to see
you.
this in practice, because
I
they
got
can
some
say
go-tos.
that it's going to work that way. We actually have to see it work that way, but I think it sounds really good. It says franchise mode comes alive with enhanced presentation, including halftime shows and weekly
Halftime
recaps with Scott
shows?
Hansen,
What?
and all new custom broadcast packages for Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime games. It says more on this and a whole bunch more for
Wait,
franchise
what?
and presentation. Again,
Nah, I
they gave
can't-
you the
I gotta
bare
hear more
kind
about
of
that.
minimum info here. There's so much more than this, but I'm glad that you guys at least know, yes, finally we got a real halftime. Maybe shows, replays, I don't know. We'll see when the info comes out. Weekly recaps, Scott Hansen, which is a nice touch. New broadcast packages
I
for Sunday,
really
Monday,
like the
Thursday.
weekly,
Each primetime game feels different. Yes,
stuff.
different scoreboards, all that kind of good stuff.
Right, this
different
gonna be
graphics, different
so
music.
cool to see,
I can't
man.
wait for you guys to really see more of this, because I'm just so glad that stuff is finally here. Moving on to presentation. So they are going to touch a little bit more on presentation itself. In this blog, it says NFL atmospheres come to life with revamped authenticity in Madden 26. Experience team-specific runouts, crowd chants, mascots, and pregame traditions such as Minnesota's Skull Chant or Baltimore's Light Show. Yes, they showed us a lot of these. Hey, for my Saints fans, they even
And
got
they
the Who
look
Dat chant before the game there, so
really
that's
good.
pretty cool.
Except
as
for they
well.
ain't show my
We
Patriots.
saw a little bit of the runouts. They looked pretty epic. Like, it kind of like the ones that we saw, it kind of felt like, yeah, this is what you would see if you went to the NFL game. So I think college football really helped push this stuff forward, seeing how well that was
Yeah,
received.
you could definitely
Hey,
see
why don't we put this in Madden? And
the
then you got the mascots
inspiration.
also, which they look really great. Again, it's just finally we got these presentation things that we've been dying to have in this game. Moving on, it says, let's talk head coaches. More gear means more authentic looking coaches. Dan Campbell is going to have his signature Dan Campbell look on the sidelines, complete with his t-shirt or rolled up long sleeve. Raheem Morris will be walking the sideline in Jordans. And yeah, there's just a ton of coach customization this year. You can make your coach look pretty crazy. I'm just saying that. There's actually way more options than I thought. Like, I thought they'd add like 10, 15 pieces, which like, all right, that's cool. Like, we can make do. I think they added like, I don't want to get this wrong, but I feel like it was around 100. I mean, maybe I'm overshooting, but it was a lot. Trust me, it's a lot of stuff.
Around 100 new
customization. Added more
customization.
alternate and classic jerseys from Nike, including the Texans redesign. Stadium edge walls and field arts will now be aligned with specific uniforms. Bengals rocking a whiteout, Buccaneers and the creamsicles. The field logos will match those uniforms. Another in-stadium detail we added, in-venue prompt graphics packages from teams' real-life jumbotrons will be in the game. So yes,
that's gonna be epic to see.
Uniforms finally, because that looked really bad.
Especially if you like if you're doing
so
simulations.
For some teams, there's multiple different field arts for multiple different uniforms. Also, yes, they got real life graphics on the jumbotron, so no more when you look at the jumbotron will it just say like Ravens. It'll have the actual graphics that the real teams use. And I think that's pretty cool because, again, anything that makes it look more realistic, I'm all for that. And again, we're going to find out a lot more about these details soon, but they're just giving you that little taste right now. Moving on to Superstar. So they definitely kind of reworked Superstar this year. I'm going to be honest, they even said themselves, you know, they think in a couple years Superstar will be a lot more players' favorite mode, but they're kind of finally like redoing it, I think, hopefully in the right way. I think they got a new guy working on it now who kind of sees what it should be more than, you know, how it was in the past. So let's talk about Superstar.
Hey, a step in the right direction.
Icon every week brings fresh story of the week narratives that pull you deeper into the heart of the game. Career chapters will guide you down the path of becoming a superstar. Start as a bench player and work your way into different phases of your career by meeting objectives. But fail to please your coach and you could find yourself back on the bench and looking at a redemption arc. Build and manage crucial relationships with coaches, teammates, and agents through the immersive sphere of influence system, because who you know off the field can be just as important as what you do on it. Keep your body in peak shape by balancing wear and tear, push your limits in intense Superstar live events, and sharpen your skills to climb the way to a 99 rating. Now, they barely said anything here. I kind of want to see what that deep dive looks like for this, because they showed us quite a bit for Superstar. But yes, you don't just start now right out of the gate unless maybe you're just like a star player that's drafted high. You can have different arcs, and what they said, I'd love to see if it's true. They said everybody should play this mode and no two people should have really the exact same path, or you could play it 5 times in a row and have 5
I like to hear it.
so
I can't wait to see it.
See out of this mode. They said, you know, you can have like a Brock Purdy arc, for example, where you're drafted late and you're a backup, but they'll give you chances to get into the game somehow. Like maybe the starter goes down and that's a scenario for you to come in, meet objectives, and then maybe
so it's kind of like a story in a way. I like that.
Maybe they pull a QB at halftime or right before halftime rather, because you've just been really bad in the first half, and they give you a drive to see what you can do. Or they pull them late in the game in a blowout, you come in and you show some stuff, right? It kind of looked like it was more similar to how Road to Glory is, where you can build up things maybe like coach trust and kind of earn different things like opening up the playbook more, opening up hot routing. They didn't go all the way in depth with it, I don't think, when they showed us, but that's what it kind of looked like in the presentation. So I'm really excited to see how this plays out. Again, all the different people you'll meet kind of influences how the fans, teammates, and coaches think of you. Like you can have your agents, you can have relationships with your coaches, you have off the field friends, or you'll have like a tattoo artist that is like a relationship, and maybe you're seeing him because you're trying to get inked up, but other people may view you differently because you're more worried about this than football. Or it's just a lot of different things they kind of threw at us. I really want to see how this plays out.
I wonder if they're gonna have like a social media
aspect.
They
talk about more in the deep dive, so I can read more into it. But it sounded like the right direction. It sounded like old Superstar mode, but reimagined today how it should be. So I'm excited to see where that goes, not only this year but in the coming years.
Because in like the old Maddens, like you could get your crib and everything.
Care about Ultimate Team that much. There are a few cool new things with that. They said that they're giving solo players kind of a little bit of an overhaul, giving more solo reward structures from the ground up to focus on progression, pacing, and rewards. They're also offering solo champions, a new escalated difficulty mode to showcase your solo prowess, prowess. They're also bringing back all new live events. This was probably the coolest thing I saw for Ultimate Team, in my opinion. Like a lot of different line events where they're going to restrict your lineup building in certain situations. So maybe they make you just build a team of all NFC North players. That was one example they told us. Or, you know, they can construct your roster in a bunch of different ways and say, like, you have to meet these requirements and then play other teams like that for rewards. I think it's pretty cool. Another quality of life thing they did for Ultimate Team is called Pack Helper. So when you're opening packs, essentially, it can kind of tell you, you know, if that card is better than your current starter. You'll see auction house information, like how much it's selling for right now. I think you can even like quick sell it for, you know, the lowest price that it's currently going for on the auction house, just to kind of get it sold quickly. Little quality of life things there for people that open packs. So, I mean, I don't really play much Ultimate Team these days, but if you do play, I think that would be a feature.
I don't think I've ever played Ultimate Team.
Make sure to stay tuned for all the deep dives. If you want to catch up on all the college football 26 info.
Whew, okay. That was a lot. First and foremost, we gotta go over the trailer. That look and feel, like I really felt like I was at an NFL game. Never been to one, but it just gave me that Sunday type feeling. You know when it's Sunday and it's around like 12 or 1. And you got like all the games like of the day. I mean, it'd be so many games. It's so hard to keep up. And it just gave me that feeling. And to have like the newer scoreboards for different occasions, like Monday Night Football, was Thursday night prime time, and then Sunday Night Football, obviously. Like that's gonna be cool to see. One big thing that that I'm glad that Eric Rayweather talked about was the halftime. Cause I like the presentations of the older Maddens. One of my favorites is, I can't remember which one it is, but it's like the camera pans to outside and you see like people barbecuing and stuff like that, and then it goes into the inside. I can't remember which Madden it was. If you guys know, let me know in the comments below if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, this looks promising. Obviously, we're gonna have to see, and when we actually play the game, we're gonna, that we're gonna be the judge of it. But that's gonna do it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this reaction. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.